Hey all you YouTubers out there in YouTube land, it's your VHS collector here, Kyle, with another Muppet review. I would just want to give a thanks to anybody that's watched any of the videos I've made. I also want to give a thanks to anybody that's clicked on them and hadn't watched them all the way through. Just clicked on these, saw this, and said, hey, I don't want to see that thing, and went on. So thank you, people, and thanks to the ones that did watch. If you have missed this particular episode I'm about to talk about, and the other three, I'm truly sorry. Maybe somewhere down the line, I hope ABC will start to air them again to where you can rewatch them, or like I've always said in my videos, you can go to abc.com as long as you're able to sign on and everything with your certain affiliation of the television station that you're with. So just go to abc.com, type in your username, your password, and everything else. You should be able to watch them. In my last video, I did say that I was going to have down in my description below, I was going to have clips from the Dancing with the Stars with where the Muppets are on it. They're only on it for a couple of minutes. It's okay. It's not really all that great. I mean, they didn't do anything, but it was still cool to get to see them, to promote their new show, and to talk to Tom Bergeron from whenever he premiered in the first episode. So click on the annotations on below, in the description below, that is. There's 2 links, so you'll get watch part 1, and then there will be part 2, so I hope you enjoy those. Well, let's get right down to it, to the review. This episode, which is called Pig Out, has 2 plots. For one thing, this is one of the funniest ones I liked. The first plot is with Fozzie and Statler. Fozzie is warming up the audience. He's shooting out t-shirts with his little t-shirt cannon or gun, and one of the shirts ain't working, and he's trying to fix it and everything, and he ends up shooting Statler in the face with it. I mean, I laughed. I mean, I understand that, yeah, I mean, they're puppets. It's not like, but yeah, I understand that, yes, he's supposed to be an old geezer and everything, but to me, I think he deserved it. Just because of how many times him and Waldorf has heckled poor Fozzie, I say Statler deserved it. Fozzie does feel bad for doing it. He goes to visit him in the hospital. Statler tells Fozzie that he's the only one that's coming to visit him. And he said, you mean Waldorf didn't come to visit you? And Statler's like, no, he's afraid of hospitals. Something happened to him. He was put into the morgue because they found him asleep in the waiting room, so he's never ever come back to a hospital before. Statler, or Fozzie, pretty much tells Statler, hey, I'll do anything for you. If you need anything done, let me know. Statler says, yeah, I need a couple of things. So he rambles off a list of stuff, and Fozzie goes out and gets it and comes back. Come to find out that Statler was just tricking Fozzie the whole time. So when Fozzie gets back with all of his stuff, he finds a sucker note or sign in Statler's bed. Statler's not there. I mean, I feel so bad for Fozzie then. I was like, my God, Fozzie, I would go around and start beating the crap out of somebody if I was him. But there's a funny line, which I'll talk about in my segment here in a minute. The other plot is Miss Piggy ends up finding out that the gang, the crew, after the show's over, that they go out and they pretty much party at Ralph's Taverns, have a good time, drink and stuff. And when she finds out, well, she wonders why she's never been invited, and she's talking to Kermit. Kermit's like, well, don't forget, they want to be alone. They want to be away from the bosses. They don't want to have to be around bosses. I mean, it's their alone time, it's for them to blow off some steam and everything. And she's like, well, it'd still be nice for them to ask me, and I'll decline it. And so Kermit talks to Pepe and Rizzo and Gonzo, and Pepe asks and everything, or he asks Miss Piggy, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry, I have something else I got to do. I'm sorry, but thank you for offering to, ask me to come along and everything. Well, she instead comes back and says, oh, I'll be there and everything. And so, like, they're like, what have you done, Kermit? I mean, now she is going to come, and now we're going to, and everything. And so they get mad, and actually they end up having a really great time with Miss Piggy. I mean, Miss Piggy just is able to, make them feel good, and they're drinking and singing and the karaoke and stuff. That's the funniest part, is with the karaoke and stuff. I really do like that they brought in Ed Helms. They did a really good job. The writers did a really good job. It felt more like him just showing up out of nowhere, not like, oh hey, I'm going to bring Ed Helms along. It was just like if somebody had just walked into a bar and just happened to find a whole bunch of people that they're like, oh my gosh, it's so and so, and they're like, oh hey, come and join us, and he's like, no, I don't want to have to ruin y'all's party, and they're like, no, join us. So I thought that was really great how they did that with him. He was the only celebrity in this episode, and I thought they did really great. Here are my top 8 funniest lines or jokes in this episode that made me laugh out loud. Number 1. Alright, this takes place in the cold opening where Fozzie is warming up the audience. He's being heckled by Waldorf and Statler, and it pretty much shoots to him with like a one-on-one with him talking to the TV audience. How do you stand being heckled? How do you do it without? And he says, oh, it's being a professional comedian and everything. It's part of the job. And then the line that he says after that is, or the part that keeps you from not liking yourself. I really thought that was funny. I mean, I felt bad whenever he said it. Really funny, though. I love that line. Number 2. This one takes place with Gonzo telling Kermit that Sam won't let him do a stunt to where Miss Piggy will jump into a vat of pudding. And Sam says, well, we don't want kids at home trying it, jumping into a vat of pudding at home and drowned. And Kermit says, who has a vat of pudding at home? And the line that Sam says is, you know how Americans struggle with proportion size? I'm sorry, that was funny. Being as in talking about fat, as in people getting fat and stuff. So I really got that joke, because of me having a big belly and everything. But, I thought that was pretty funny how they did it with that one. So good line, writers. This takes place after Miss Piggy ends up finding out that she's never invited to go hang out with the crew after work at Ralph's Tavern. And she runs out on stage to tell Kermit. And about that time, Pepe pops up from behind one of the studio seats in the audience. And he has these big old dentures. And his line is, hey look, I'm Bradley Cooper. And I just thought that was... It's just, oh my gosh. I mean, just that big, the dentures and everything that he's wearing, that's what cracked me up the most. But then him saying, oh look, I'm Bradley Cooper, and everything. So I thought that was pretty funny. I love that line. That was a funny line. Number 4. Alright, this scene takes place pretty much after the Pepe scene about Bradley Cooper. And Kermit's telling Piggy that the crew wants to be able to blow out some steam and not have to be around the big people, as in the bosses and everything. And it shows a flashback of everybody at Ralph's Tavern, and Bunsen's like, hey, Beaker does a real good Miss Piggy impression. So he goes, Beaker, do it, and Beaker stands there and goes, me, boy, me. And I just thought that was so funny. I mean, to me, it was like spot on. I mean, I know you can't understand what Beaker's saying, but it was just how he did it and how the gestures and everything that he did. That was funny. I mean, really funny. Number 5. This scene takes place at Ralph's Tavern, and Miss Piggy's telling all about her fabulous life and how, she has to have her gardener and her landscaper have to landscape everything, and, and she's telling everybody, don't you hate whenever you have to do that and everything, and everybody, doesn't agree with her because they don't have that type of lifestyle and everything. Well, she keeps on going, talking about her life and everything, because it's always me, with Miss Piggy. It cuts to Rizzo and Pepe sitting at one of the tables, and it's a two-liner, as in Pepe says something and then Rizzo says something, but both of these lines, I couldn't make them just two separate ones. I just had to put them into one. Pepe says, Rizzo ends up saying, man, it's just, God, and Rizzo's like, yeah, somebody peel me and eat me, okay? And then Rizzo ends up saying, yeah, I've had more fun in a glue trap. So those are pretty funny. I thought that was two funny lines of Rizzo and Pepe's in this one, except for the whole Bradley Cooper one with Pepe. I thought that was pretty funny. Number 6. This pretty much takes place when Ed Helms shows up, and he walks in and goes, oh, the Muppets, oh, I'm sorry, he's about to leave, and Miss Piggy's like, no, stay, he goes, no, I don't want to have to, and in a way, it's like either Miss Piggy's ran into him or he's ran into her, it's just the way that they're acting like they actually know each other. But they're talking about, or Ed Helms is talking about Chuck E. Cheese, and Miss Piggy says, for a guy your age, why would you want to have a party at Chuck E. Cheese? He goes, yeah, I understand that, he says. My niece ended up having a party at Chuck E. Cheese, and she didn't invite me, so I pretty much made me my own party at Chuck E. Cheese's and everything. And his line is what got me, is he goes, now it's your turn to cry, Madison, even though you are 11. And it's just like he's bad-mouthing his own niece and everything. So I thought that was pretty funny. It got a laugh out of me. I don't know if anybody else would have laughed at it, but I thought it was pretty funny. Number 7. This scene takes place pretty much after Fozzie has found out that Statler's tricked him and everything, and so he's driving and he's talking to the camera people and everything, and he's talking about that most park rangers will tell you the same thing about bear attacks, that it always happens because of hunger. And Fozzie's like, I'm gonna stop you right there, because it's not because of hunger. And his line is, most bear attacks don't happen because of hunger. They happen because someone got their feelings hurt. So I thought that was pretty funny. Just the whole point of that bears don't really attack you because they're hungry. It's because someone got their feelings hurt. So I really did love that line. That was a good one that they wrote for Fozzie. So another good one, writers. Number 8, the last one. This is when Kermit has called everybody in to work after they're all hungover and everything, and he's mad and pissed because they didn't show up to work because Miss Piggy told them that they could show up at 2 o'clock and everything, and he's telling them we need to get ready and start working again. Don't worry about what Miss Piggy says. Come into work at whenever you're supposed to come in. And, he's telling them all this stuff, and he says, but it's time to work. But now it's time to work. And then Swedish Chef goes, no time to work. And it's just, it's the whole, of the Swedish Chef, and Kermit goes, who said that? And looks around and everything. Everybody giggling and laughing at him and stuff. And, he just hates, the whole point of him getting, as in somebody making fun of him, knowing he's the big boss and everything. But that was pretty funny. I did like that one. Now it's time for full body shots. This is where we get to see our characters in full body, from their head all the way to their toes. Well, sadly, this episode really didn't have any full body shots like the other 3 have. This one has a couple of neat shots where you get to see most of their body, even though you're not seeing their complete full body. One part is whenever Statler does get hit in the face with the t-shirt and he flies back off of his chair into the next row of chairs, you get to see pretty much his whole body there. I mean, it's a pretty quick, glance. But if you were to slow it down, you could actually see, The next one is pretty much Statler on a gurney and everything as they're taking him off the stage to the hospital and everything. You get to see pretty much most of his body down to his legs and his shoes and his feet and everything. And then the only other part is Kermit as he's talking to Miss Piggy in her dressing room. He sits on her couch and he does his famous where he crosses one leg over to his other. I've always liked that. Plus we get to see legs and feet and stuff on a puppet. It's just neat. So, well, that's pretty much that for the full body shots. Sorry there weren't really any good ones in this episode, but maybe another episode we'll get to see more of them. So, final thoughts for the episode is I really did enjoy it. I thought it was really great. I did enjoy getting to see the characters just be themselves and get to go out and have fun and not have to be working on a TV show. One thing though is, where was Ralph? I mean, it was his tavern, wasn't it? Or his bar. I mean, why wasn't he there? Why wasn't he singing anything and all this? But maybe he was off having to do orders and everything. So pretty funny that they didn't include Ralph in any of those scenes, which I thought was kind of funny. They're kind of weird. Well, guys, that's the end of another Muppet review. I did want to say that I will be making a top 10 of my favorite Halloween specials. And why? Not for sure whenever I'll have it up or whenever I'll get it ready to put up. I'm going to try to do it before October ends, so that it'll at least be set in the good. I don't want to show it in November, knowing that Halloween will already be over by then. But I'm going to try to have it then, have it up. Also, I guess if you've noticed, I got me a haircut, everything. So got me all spruced up and stuff. Got me on my little Halloween skeleton shirt and everything. Well, thanks for watching if you watched. Thanks for liking if you liked. Thanks for subscribing if you subscribed. If you haven't clicked that like button or click that subscribe button, come on, do it. Please, I need some more viewers. I need some more subscribers. Come on. I always need more YouTube friends, to help me out. Also, comment in below. Let me know whatever you liked about this episode, what you didn't like. Let me know if there are any funny lines that you thought were funny or any characters you thought that were in the background of the episode. I did see Crazy Harry in the background, which I thought was kind of cool. Well, till next time, YouTubers, frogs, bears, chickens and things, boys and girls, and women and men from all over the world, it's your VHS collector Kyle here. Bye!